Hello, Crystal Palace. Welcome to the Upper Norwood Library Hub's Library Lunch. This is a place to share positive and useful local information, find out about our wonderful community in a bit more depth, and just try and keep us more connected during this time. So I'm delighted to welcome my guest today, which is Julie Atherton, who is a West End actress and painter. Julie, thank you so much for joining me. It's great to have you. Tell us a little bit about you and your background. How did you end up in the West End?
Yeah, so my background is I did not know what I wanted to do, and funnily enough, I took art A level and theatre studies and Spanish.
Okay.
And dropped Spanish because I can't speak Spanish, so I found it very difficult. And then I dropped art as well because I didn't think I was very good at it. So it's weird that it's full circle. Eventually went to Mount View, did a few West End shows. I've been kind of working as an actress all that time, and it was starting to go quite well again, because our career has kind of, dips sometimes. And it was just on an uphill climb, and then COVID.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but, same as everybody. And then I thought, right, well, what can I do? Because I can't do anything else. Like there was nothing we could do. Like usually we do promo or something like that, or work in the food industry or something like that, and everything was shut. So I thought, well, I'll just use this time to have a think and have a little bit of a hobby. And everybody was cracking the old hobbies out, weren't they? And I'm not very good at baking, so I thought I'll just do a bit of painting. That'll be nice, and my flatmates were like, oh, I really like that. Can I have one? And then it kind of went from there. And then I thought, people were giving me photos to, copy. And then I thought, actually, I quite enjoy this. And I'm all right. I mean, I'm not good, but it's just copying. It's just copying. That's all it is, really.
But that's an awesome place to start. So speaking of somebody who cannot, I this has come up on the library lunch before, but I have a hang up about art. I can't do it. I literally can't do it. So just if you being able to copy a photo and come up with a painting or whatever that looks like the photo is awesome from my point of view. Absolutely awesome. Is that one of yours behind you?
Yes, this is my great niece. This is my latest one. It's not quite finished yet, but nearly. But yeah, I've been playing new paints that I got, which are like metallic-y. I don't know whether you can tell. It kind of shines a bit. But yeah, that's that one. I've got another one that's finished, actually. It's a bit scary. This one's finished. It's a bit creepy, isn't it? But my friend wanted that, so I don't think I could have that on my wall, though. But yeah, so that's that one.
That's awesome.
There's another one here that's not finished yet at all. But yeah, but it's hard because once you've you get quite attached to them once you've been painting them, and then obviously you have to give them away. It's like, oh, all that's left is a little photo that it ever existed.
I suppose you don't have to give them away, but you'd end up with a house full of your paintings, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and also I need to pay my rent, so yeah, definitely have to give it away.
And how long, the ones that are behind you, which are lovely, how long have they taken to do?
It's quite difficult to say, but quite a long time, probably more than a real artist. Yeah, it does take me quite a long time. So I think about 3 days, that one. That one.
I mean, that sounds really quick to me.
But like, I'm talking, like I'll come back to it. So that's with breaks as well, if you know what I mean. So 3 days all in all. So it's probably been about a week I've had that. But I have to stop or do another one. So I've done like 3 at the same time at the moment, because it's really weird, but you can't see it anymore when you're that close to it. It's like, I can't see it. I need to do something else. And sometimes you just get really bored of a color. I just need to have another color. It's really weird.
Do you find the same thing with shows when you're doing that actually are you usually learning one at once or learning several at once? And do you have songs that you go to when you need a break, or like favorite ones that you just drop in to your
Yeah,
practice?
that's a really good question, actually. Yeah, it is like that. And you are learning a lot of things at the same time. It's nice when you can just, it's a luxury when you can just focus on one show and learn that. But then you'll have a casting for something, you've got to learn like 5 songs in 3 days for something, there's always things that come up and you think, because as actors, we're those people that go, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it, because you never know when the next job's going to come. So yeah, you get overloaded sometimes because you've said yes to too many things and you can't quite handle it, but you have to, because you don't know, it's a feast or a famine, isn't it? So
yeah. Has that experience and attitude stood you in good stead in the last 6 months?
it has, actually. I have to say, as soon as lockdown happened, most of the artists, and I don't mean to speak for everybody, but most people that I know, we kind of went, oh, what, living hand to mouth? Yeah, we got that. Not having a job? Yeah, we got that. So it kind of felt like just normal unemployment, like, oh, back to the hustle. So now we've just got to find jobs that, don't include crowds. Okay. So thinking outside the box and having to earn, to make ends meet is kind of normal to us. So yeah, it did feel quite normal, which is weird. Also, it was kind of nice to have a break, and just concentrate on, okay, so my only problem now is I need to earn money. It doesn't matter how. Like, I don't have to juggle lots of things, which is good. So, I don't know. I think I'm an Aries. I'm quite good at like thinking positively about things, and but yeah, it has been very strange for everybody, hasn't it?
Yeah. Have you enjoyed it actually? So this is just because thinking about what you just said about being nice to have a break. I've actually really enjoyed being at home more and just being in Crystal Palace more, and not herring around 5 different areas of London in one day, one after the other, without really time to pause. Or if I have time to pause, I've nowhere to go, so I end up in a coffee shop, or
Yeah,
and actually, as much as I enjoy the variety of that, it has been such a relief to just
yeah,
be in one place for a bit. Yeah, I don't know if you've found something similar.
yeah. It absolutely, because something about London, isn't it? It's just go, 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 quick, quick, next, grab a sandwich, go, And it has been nice to like just cook meals,
Yeah.
like all the meals at home, and just be around our home. We just moved into our home as well, so we'd only been there 3 weeks. So
Wow.
first it was a bit like, oh, we've got time to move in properly. So that was nice. And just time to think. I don't think you get a lot of time to think in this day and age. And it
Yeah.
was really nice to just, am I doing what I want to do? Am I, talk to your friends as well. Like, so many people I've been constantly on the phone to now. It's so nice. Like, you've got back in touch with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there has been a real positive thing. And like we were having a little chat before about community as well. Like, I know my neighbours.
Yeah.
When does that happen in London? And that was literally because our grass was, and we're like, oh, we can't get a lawnmower from anywhere at the beginning. We were like, excuse me, can we borrow your lawnmower? And then we got chatting from that. And then there's the NHS clap, everybody's a bit like, oh, who's around? And it was really nice to connect with your neighbours. So that's been lovely. And of course, the library, when we did our concert there, it's just really nice to meet other people that are like-minded from the community.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has had a few, and the environment, of course. So it has had some positive effects, but yeah, we got to pay our rent, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What else have you been doing then? You've obviously got the painting, which must be a lovely creative outlet, if you're doing less of the usual singing and stuff. What
Yeah,
else have you been
well,
doing?
I've been recording an album called Plan B, and a group of women got together and wrote a musical called Plan B. And we were meant to be doing that as a workshop. That was just one of my very rushed things that I was supposed to be doing. They decided in lockdown that we'd just record it from home. And so we've been slowly workshopping it, and it was finished last week.
Wow.
So so all that time I've been working on that, which has been really nice. And also I'm directing at Mount View soon, and we've had to devise a show. So that's been really interesting. I start officially on Monday, but I've been writing it all that time as well. So
Amazing.
yeah, I've had a lot to do, but it's been nice to have actual time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is the Mount View show going to happen? Are you going to be, you've been doing stuff online then?
Yeah, we've
Devising it.
meetings online to devise it, of course, because it has to kind of be done before I start, which is very strange. But we're going to do it as a theatre show, but with 3 cameras, and we're going to stream it.
Cool.
So working out that is going to be very strange, because there's so many times where I'm thinking, oh yeah, and we can create some of the set with the people. They can't touch. So there's so many obstacles, and there's another 2 directors working with other groups, and usually, you know, you'd have a little bit of healthy competition in the green room, being like, what are you doing yours? I'm not telling you what. And we've decided we're going to have to be very open about what we do. And if we find something that works, just tell the other directors, because, you know, it's a weird time, and it's going to be just strange having people so separate on stage.
And I guess really you need some consistency across what all the different directors are saying, so the students aren't getting confused and getting conflicting messages as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
All this, you know, taking your temperature, one-way system, and all, it's going to be you know, very new rules. And my style of directing is always about breaking rules, so it's going to be really difficult for me. I'm like, these rules can't break. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's sort of a different kind of creativity, isn't it? I don't know. I found, certainly at the start, just kind of learning how to do things online. So like learning how to run a choir session online was weirdly inspiring. I mean, I can't wait to get back in a room with people, don't get me wrong, but it was sort of weirdly inspiring and felt really creative, trying to work out how to do a choir session online so that it still was interesting for people and they still felt like they'd had a proper choir experience. And I guess, you know, you could find the same.
Try with your choir experience. So it's so gorgeous, but there's something about when you see things like that online, a community coming together from their homes. I don't know why, but it's more personal, isn't it? So it just feels like much more of an effort they've put in to get. I don't know. It was very emotional, anyway.
Yeah, well, I think it is to a certain extent, and just because everybody's had to record themselves and do things on their own and kind of learn to be okay with how they sound, which, I mean, I've actually found the same thing when I've been making choir recordings and stuff, that having to do more recordings in the last few months has really made me just get on with it. Just stop listening, just do it. It's not perfect. Is it good enough? Can you do it in one take? Because actually you've got 10 minutes. So use those 10 minutes to just do a take. And you can always do it again, but actually that might well be good enough, and just to get over yourself, do it.
Absolutely.
And I think people doing recordings from their home, there've been potentially a lot of things to a lot of hang-ups maybe to kind of to look at, deal with, or just to have to make the choice. Do you want to be part of this and kind of do it on your own and work out how to do it with the technology, and work out how to live with, maybe you don't like your sound as much when you're on your own, but do it anyway. As I know, it's been quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good practice for self-tapes as well, which is what actors have to do a lot.
Well, I guess you're having to do a lot more at the moment, or at least that's more of the way the auditions are. I think auditions are starting to come back, aren't they, a little bit, for things?
So yeah, mine have been from home though. I mean, there hasn't been many, but like commercial castings, it's just so weird. I've had a couple on Zoom, just like hello, and then my internet went down and one. It's like I said, my internet went down just before, but I'm tethering this from my phone. So thank you, 4G.
Seems to be okay so far. Touch wood. Yeah, brilliant. So how have you? I mean, how have you found it from a sort of point of view of a performer who can't do the thing really that you're trained to do and that presumably you love to do. In fact, you were saying it was nice to take a step back and just go, am I doing what I want to do? Well, are you? Has it made you miss it?
It has. It has made me miss it, but it's also made me a bit more creative and realize that I can do more on my own.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of time as an actor, you start to go, okay, yes, when's my next thing? When's my next thing? You feel a bit at the mercy of others. Like, can you get me an audition? And then it's like, oh no, what do I like? Like, what do I want to create? And I've been doing a lot more writing and putting things together myself. That's just, it's like, this is what I enjoy, the creativity, not the standing in line and waiting to be judged. Like, that's the bit we hate. And that's the bit you start to forget about your creativity when you start standing in line and going, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full. It starts to become stressful for the wrong reasons. So I think that it's just reminding like why we love it, and for me it's creating. It's not necessarily being told to stand on 6 and sing that line. It's, being part of the whole process and putting together a show and telling a story. So yeah, I've fallen in love with that again, which is great.
Do you think that realization will change the kind of things that you try to do going forward?
Yeah. I mean, I was already feeling like this a little bit when I started directing. I thought, oh, I like this because I guess I'm in charge of the atmosphere in the room and the creative process. But this is just, I guess, giving me a kick up the bum a little bit more to really follow my dream and not doubt myself. Because what's the worst that can happen? That it doesn't happen. Well, it's not happening anyway. So, it's more freeing, I guess.
Yeah.
When you're your own boss. So, yeah.
Yeah. What else appeals to you about directing? What's your kind of style?
Bringing out the best in people, really, and making everybody's voices heard in the room, feel heard. Yeah, I think that's something I'm quite passionate about, making it everybody's project, because then when you leave and they have to do the show on their own, it's theirs. It's not like, oh, they've gone now, I can just do it my way. It's always been their way. So yeah, I think many times it can become a bit of a dictatorship without realizing.
Well, I was just going to ask if this is something you've learned by having the opposite.
Yeah.
We just leave that there. Just yes. Yeah. Cool.
Alpha men. The ones.
Yeah. So while we're just kind of talking about experiences and stuff, what have been some of your favorite shows to do? I've really enjoyed actually seeing you at the Library Hub and the variety, and the occasional puppet appearances and things. And I think I said this to you, but there was one song from, I think it was Make Them Hear You. Was it the Disney Princess song that you did then that just made me absolutely cry with laughter? The entire song, I was just in tears on the floor.
Yeah, well, I love those kind of things. I love comedy. That song, we used to do loads of concerts. I think I do miss that, the new these new writers concerts we used to do.
So is that specifically showcasing new works that hadn't been fully put on, or workshopping them, or what?
Well, I think it is kind of the West End, because it's so expensive to put on a show. I think it becomes quite safe, and a lot of revivals, like, people don't take as many risks as they do, like, say, in America. On Broadway, I think there's a lot more new writing that gets put on, whereas here, I think people are slightly afraid to take the risk, and you know, it's the same old, the usual MGM musicals that come back again and again. So yeah, I've been pushing that since I was, what, 20, early 20s. I mean, I'm not that far off that now.
Just a couple of years.
All right. Stop looking at my greys. Yeah, I've been passionate about that since I left drama school, really. So I guess I'm still piping on about that. I'm still boring people with that and that bandwagon. But I've just met so many good writers, and it just, I don't know. There is still a privilege thing that happens in the West End, and I think, I don't know. Well, you know, how do we solve that? It's asking the people at the top to step down, isn't it? I don't know. It's always going to be a difficult one.
Ongoing fight.
Yeah.
But maybe there's also a real opportunity here at the moment with theatres not being able to run as normal, for actually people to come forward with new shows, new ways of doing things, smaller casts, or in different spaces where the audience setup is different, or I don't know, maybe there's a real opportunity.
Absolutely. And I've always thought this, that, you know, why does it have to be the West End theatres that monopolise everything? Because they're all the same. They're all a proscenium arch space. Whereas I think we're getting, you know, more into immersive shows and just different space, like site specific. I think there's just a lot more interesting things we can do. And not saying that, you know, we should stop all West End theatre, but it's very expensive to take a risk in a theatre. That's why, you know, the tried and tested shows. I totally understand, like, not slagging off that system or anything. I totally get it. But we need to, I think, as an audience, need to go looking for new stuff as well, because it's very expensive. Like, the rent in that building is very expensive already. And that's before you've paid out, you know, all the money for, well, everybody working in that building. Not so much for the cast, but yeah, I think we need to start looking at different things, and that's what art is. It isn't a formula. The whole point in art is that we think outside the box. It's something different. It's creative thinking. So yeah, I think it can only be a good thing, really. But obviously, money.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with the economy?
Yeah.
We've got great leaders, haven't we?
Moving on. Yeah, and actually, arts funding, that's a whole other area as well, isn't it? And so yeah, looking maybe for interesting spaces where, as you say, the rent is just not so much of an issue, where maybe fewer audience members needed to make it viable and things. I think, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what comes out of it. So yeah. So what else is coming up for you? But obviously ongoing painting, and we'll come back to that in a sec to remind people or catch people up if they weren't watching. I should have actually said, if anybody's got any questions for Julie, please do put them in the chat of whichever social media platform you're on, because we'd love to answer them in the next 3 minutes. So work fast. But yeah, so what's coming up for you?
Well, obviously this Mountain View show next, but I was supposed to be doing a show at the Bridge called The Book of Dust. It's a prequel to...
Oh, yes, that's Philip Pullman.
Yes. I was supposed to be doing that, playing a hyena.
Woo!
I love playing animals. It's my favourite. But no, COVID happened. So until theatres are allowed to fully come back, they don't want to start with that show. But hopefully that will still be in the pipeline. And a couple of shows that I'm supposed to be directing. Which I don't know whether I'm allowed to talk about.
Oh well, we'll keep an eye on your social media to see when things are announced. Then maybe.
In the meantime, painting.
Yeah. So just
doing or
just going back to that. Are you taking commissions then?
Yeah. Yes. I have an Instagram page and an Etsy page, so whichever way.
Okay. And are there any particular kind of guidelines, things that you definitely would or wouldn't want to do, or anything like that? What particularly
I
inspires
mean,
you?
I'm up for a challenge.
Excellent.
Absolutely up for a challenge.
Okay, fantastic. So Rin has very kindly put the Etsy and Instagram in the chat. So if anybody is interested in having a painting done by Julie Atherton, there's the links to kind of get in touch. Yeah, I would look forward to seeing some more. I'm going to go and have a look and see what else you've done. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the last couple of minutes before we finish? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
I think we've covered all bases.
I think the thing that struck me that we were talking about at the beginning, but which we touched on, was just what you said about community, and that's obviously been a really big thing. And you moved house, so presumably you've shifted community slightly as well.
Slightly, yeah. I went from Forest Hill to West Norwood.
Yeah.
So not that far really, but it's been lovely. I know it sounds really weird. It's like it hasn't Corona been great, but in a way, it has, because we've all stopped and we've all gone and just had a look around at each other. It's been really nice. Like I would never have gone on a walk every day, but that's something that's now in my routine. Like, right, let's go for a walk, and then we just walk around the park, and yeah, it's just
explore new places.
really lovely.
Yeah.
I chat to my neighbours a lot. Yeah.
I think we have to take the positives where they are and or at least appreciate the things that are good, because there obviously are so many things that are not. So
Exactly. And if you want to look for that, you just switch the TV on, which I just don't have on anymore. Like, okay, what can I do about it then? What can I do about the negative things? Nothing? Okay. Well, let's just look at the positives. Less planes. Yay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm not going on holiday, but less planes in the sky.
Less planes and lots of green spaces around that mean we have somewhere to go for our walks and things. So yeah.
Yeah.
And people to wave at and say hello to, because now you know your neighbours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's been so lovely to chat to you. Thank you so much. Come back and chat to us again, when you have new projects on the go, or more paintings or whatever. It'd be lovely to have a chat again. So just before we finish, we've got a couple of notices as always. So the first thing is we're still looking for people to take part in All Alone Together, which is our Arts Council funded project. There's a very short survey on the website, and I am interviewing people still for the next few weeks to be part of an oral history podcast. So if you'd like to be able to share your experience of lockdown and the pandemic with the local community, we'd love to hear from you. Please do get in touch. It's not scary. We won't talk about anything you don't want to talk about, and the interviews are edited down, so if there's any moments of kind of brain blank or anything, don't worry, we'll cut those out. But it'd be lovely to have some more people from the community involved, and just spread the net as wide as we can. Sort of on the same note, really, we're always looking for people to come and talk on this show. So if you've got something you'd like to talk about, tell us how your business has been functioning during lockdown, during the pandemic. Tell us about your charity, your organisation, your event, or just what you've been doing. Please give us a shout at Galina.Rin at unlt.org. And then just a couple of things that are coming up. We have Crystal Palace Performing Arts coming up, which is singing, dancing and drama classes for young people 6 to 18 years old, with term time classes. And then we have the Crystal Palace Performing Arts Performers is Tuesday 4 till 6:30. They're suitable for any student who wants to build their confidence, wants to be heard, loves to move, wants to work in a group and to learn new skills. All the course leaders are professionally trained performers of the West End TV, film and dance. So it's starting, in fact, next Tuesday, the 29th, and running until Saturday, the 19th of December. So do check our website for details, and jump on that quickly, because I think there are not very many places left, and it's obviously starting next week. Then we have Family Halloween Spooktacular, which is free and online worldwide, Saturday, October the 31st at 6 o'clock, sung by West End Ghosts and Ghouls, featuring Halloween songs from classics such as Wicked, The Addams Family Musical, Sweeney Todd, The Rocky Horror Show, and The Witches of Eastwick, just to name a few. So that's it from me today, except that I'm just going to mention a comment from Gaynell, who actually, Julie, you mentioned our virtual choir performance at the end of Make Them Hear You. So Gaynell was one of the people who appeared, the two who appeared at the very beginning on the phone. So she says, I haven't got a question, but I just wanted to say what amazing artwork. 2 kisses. There you go. So that's it from us today. We are back tomorrow at midday. Please do join us for that. And Julie, thank you so much for joining us again. Lovely to chat to you, and look forward to hearing you soon, seeing more pictures and stuff, and just seeing how you're getting on. So, thanks so very much. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy the bit of sunshine we do seem to have today in between the clouds, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.